brr. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another social production. We're doing it on brr. Get. Love all the noises that we make together. Once again, you're joining me today. If you're joining me, if it's your first time, if it's your second or third time, where can you find these videos? Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Instagram, on YouTube, on patreon.com/RobSadri. If you'd like to fiscally support this show, once again, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. Glad you made it. It is yet another social production. We're doing it. It's May the 12th, baby. We're here. We're alive. We're kicking. I'm excited. It's going to be a loose day. Bucka. Brrr. Hope you're all doing well, wherever you are. Whether you're tuning in from Canada, down south in the US, Mexico, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, Japan, Korea, North Korea, that's right, Taiwan, Hong Kong, everywhere, Sudan, Guyana, Nigeria, Indonesia, you get it, all around the world, baby, wherever you're tuning in from. I'm hoping you're having a good Friday. It is a Friday. It's baby. You're like wondering what's gonna happen today. Because then again, if it's your first time coming in, what do? We talk about everything and nothing. That's what, just to set the tone for the newcomers, for the newer arrivals, for the new members of the syndicate, of the gang, of the family, the global family, the human family, doing it together. What do? We just have fun. Today's episode is going to be loosely concentrated around, because it's this weekend, baby. It's coming up this weekend. It's if I'm not mistaken, it's Sunday. It's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. If you've celebrated already, then it's just enjoy the extra celebrations. If you've not celebrated yet, it's about to come your way. Happy Mother's Day. And it's just what it is. I wanna just concentrate on mothers today. Because man, oh man, ladies and gents, none of us would be here if it wasn't for those ladies who are brave enough to, be the procurers of life, if you will. Really, the mothers are essentially the trap house of life. That's what mothers are. Mothers are trafficking life, if you will. That's life traffickers, you could call them. But that's what it is, man. You don't hope for a hot mother, but it's something that you're not going to complain about should your dad make a good decision in regards to picking and that's not something you want to it's not something you're aware of. It's not something, but it's one of those things like later on in life, you're like, oh, it's all right to have it's not too bad to have a decent looking moms, but you don't want your moms to be like too hot, because that could also become problematic. You don't want your moms to be too ugly either, because that could also become. You want your moms to be, and you want dad to have you'd hope that dad has some sort of somewhere in the just when it comes to decision making good decisions. And again, that's not something you have any control over, but it's just, whatever. It's just what it is. We're just getting into it. It's Mother's Day. None of us would be here without mothers. What are mothers? They're amongst us each and every day. You see them each and every day. Walking up and down the streets like they are eating for two, like they're sometimes eating for three, depending on how many they're carrying with them. But mothers are, let's break it down. Let's get into the nitty gritty. What are mothers? Mothers are roughly, half the human population. Half the human population is capable of becoming mothers. If they close to half of the human population is capable of becoming mothers, which is pretty decent in terms of number. That's a decent amount of numbers. That's a good chunk. That's if half of something's willing to, mother. Now, those are good odds. I'll take 50-50 any day. Roughly, 49-50, 51-49, who knows? It's 51-49, 50-48, 52, 47, 50, it's give or take. And again, who knows? Somewhere down the line, it's roughly 50-50, they say. But that's what it is. Females. Human females. Mothers. Some attributes of mothers. Classic mother attributes. 2 tits. Classic. 2 tits. An ass. A donka-donk, as they say. A vag. The tits. Capable of lactating, which is, again, that's only available to half the populace, which is, it's nice that somebody's able to do it. You know what I mean? Because if it was up to me, man, be dry. These babies be thirsty out here. But that's not the case. Thank God. Other attributes of mothers, they are, you know, what's a mother? How do you distinguish a mother? Ovaries. Ovaries, son. Daughters. Cousins. Neighbors. Acquaintances. Run-ins. Bystanders. You name it. Fallopian tubes. Classic attribute of a mother, fallopian tubes. You're like, what's a fallopian tube? It's basically nature's coat hanger, if you will, hanging on to female eggs, waiting to release them on a monthly basis, which is gnarly if you think about it. A clitori, classic mother attribute. They have it, they got it. Labias, you know. Not all those who have these attributes, of course, become mothers, but these are classic, these are the basic foundations, if you will, of like, if you're gonna, you know, eventually mother, that's what you're gonna need some of that, most of that, you're gonna need most of it, you're gonna need all of it, you're gonna need all of it, and then some. If you can get your, like, if you can get your hand on a pair of extra ovaries, extra vulvas, why not? Who couldn't use an extra vulva with all the safety features? You know what I'm talking? It's just like, especially if you're preparing to have children, especially if you're, you know, ready to like procreate. But that's what it is, man. Shout out to mothers. I personally wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for my moms doing the birth thing. First giving the green light to dad. That's always like, you know, yes, I'm gonna let you, know what it is. So shout out to moms for, you know, essentially being risk takers, gamblers in a sense, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen, man, and that's a wild game. That's a wild game. And females are tough. The ones that, especially the ones that mothers are tough. Kind of gets annoying at a certain point because, like, you know, you can birth and the vag is like the most muscular or most powerful muscle amongst the human species. So it's easy for a mother to flex and just like kneel down and pop out a baby and be like, who's the strongest? And we're like, yeah, we get it. All right, moms. And that's why you see men dedicating sometimes lifetimes to lifting up heavy things and putting them down. So to assert some sort of strength. You know, we can't birth anything out of the crotchal region, but we can fucking curl we'll curl you. You know, 50 pounds, we'll curl you. You know, overhead extensions, baby, let's go. Who's stuff? Right here, right there. Feel the tricep right there. And all of a sudden, a lady shows up, gives birth, and then it's like, all right, I can't compete with that. That's like a full house, as they say in the classic Texas Hold'em poker hand game. If you're a gambling man, you're a gambling lady. We want to talk a little bit of the old card games. Man, I don't know too much about card games. But all I know is that you keep your cards facing either your way or the other way. I don't know which way, but it's again 50-50. You get a bunch of cards and they're dealt. Deal with it. Let's go. Fish. Classic. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me. Classic poker jargon for y'all poker players out there. But mothers, aside being show-offs and showboats at times, we get it, and I'm glad that there's variance in the human populace. There's the male, there's the female, and everybody does their part. But like mothers, man, I am because that's it just works out better in terms of, you know, because they come with the equipment. The vag is perfect for giving birth. Because if there were no badges, and if we all just had, man, if dudes had to give birth, if I had to lay on my back, and have a human slide out of my asshole, well, that would have been a wrap for the human species. And I speak for myself and all majority of the men out there. I don't know who's willing to rip an asshole to let a human slide out of them. I don't know, but that's just me. Maybe there are. I do speak for myself and everybody else. Not really, but you know, I'm just putting it out there. If you're a dude, would you be like, yes, if it came down to it, if the responsibility were put on my shoulders, would I lay on my back and let an asshole rip and have a human slide out of me? I don't know. Maybe you're the better man. Maybe you're the better. I wouldn't. So I'm glad that there are ladies out there with proper equipment doing it, dude. Doing it. And yeah, that's just what it is. It's not just, you know, mothers are way more than just body parts. They're more than the lactating tits. They're more than the womb. They're more than just traffickers of life. They come with other body parts, brains, big brains, and we often depend on them. Ladies and their brains and their hearts. The bigger the heart, the bigger the capacity to be like, oh man, I'm gonna mother the shit out of this kid. So that's what it is, man. That's what we love, the ladies who dedicate themselves, or at least a portion of themselves, to motherhood, to, you know, bearing children, to giving birth, to being that middle lady between life and everything else. So it's pretty tight. So if it's Mother's Day and you've got access to your folks, if they're nearby, what I would recommend, how to make Mother's Day extra special, go out and sprinkle a little bit, you know, get yourself some Blue Chew, get yourself some Rhino dick pills, get yourself some Viagra, get yourself some Red Bull, get yourself some maybe a shot of tequila in there. I don't know. Grind it all up. Grind the tequila, grind the Red Bull, grind the Blue Chew, the Viagra, and the Rhino dick pills. Lots of them, to whatever the recommended dosage and the instructions say. It's safe to say for Mother's Day, you can 10x that. Once you grounded up the entire batch, you put it in between your dad's ham sandwich. Let him have it. Oh, it's lunchtime, a little bit early at 11 o'clock, 11:30. We're having lunch today. Yes, Dad, go ahead and eat up. And feed him all the, you know, the goods. And in the meantime, while Daddy's ingesting the Viagra, the dick pills, the Rhino dick pills, to be exact, with the grounded up Red Bull and tequila, you can make your mom's a brownie, a couple of brownies. Maybe sprinkle a little bit of the old ganja in there, maybe put a little bit of the mushrooms in there, make her, you know, and then leave the house. Your mom's gonna be all right. Your dad may or may not experience chest pains, may or may not have a heart attack. I don't know, I'm not a doctor. Okay, I'm just putting that out there, but does this call for a good time? Yes. Will he be okay? I mean, you know, let's find out. I say it's, you know, and if you don't want a 10x, if you want to just be like, all right, regular amount of dick pills for that's fine too, but do you want to make it a special day or not? You know what I mean? Do you want to make, and then leave the house immediately. Give them a little bit of time, half a day, a full day. Wouldn't hurt you to leave the house for a full day and just be like, let mom and dad go to town. Let dad crack that back. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. So these are some of the ideas that I've been thinking about. It is Mother's Day, and we're gonna stay here in Mothersville today. It's Mother's Day. It's Mothersville. Shout out to all the moms, the mamas, which are grandmas, I believe, and then the mamas, great grandmothers, of course. Ladies are strong. Ladies are also, you know, but it's easy to give compliments. It's easy to be like, you know, you got great hearts, you got great heads, you are able to give life, that's all great and dandy. You take on a lot of responsibilities. You're supportive of families. They say the mothers are the glues of families. They're the backbones of families. Are there rooms for improvement? Absolutely. And this is not just, so this is, yeah, please don't be sitting down here thinking that we're just going to pander to mothers here. We're not just one of those, like, we'll come at them from every angle. Are there improvements? Areas where we could improve in motherhood? Yes, of course. Of course, if I were a mother, if I were, if there was room to be improvement upon, I'd want to know where would a mother, where would they improve upon? Let's start off with the whole design idea. You know what I'm talking about? What's up with the old, babies in the front? Babies in the front. What are we doing here? From a design aesthetic stance, from an engineering perspective, mechanically speaking, of course, it would have made sense for mothers to carry the babies in their backs and sort of have like a lump, become like a humpback mothers. I believe that's what we started off from. Somewhere along the line, we started, it started very similar to TVs, very, fat in the back and then eventually slimmed down. But now it's like, what are we doing here? I think things are like, it used to be a little bit more, I think mothers used to be just like round all around. But again, it's like the updates, the new software keeps on coming out. So I don't know, that's just, I say, you know what? If I could look at you from the front and be like reg lady, and only to be surprised and find out that's a prego lady by having you turn to the side and I see a lump on your back, that would have been nice. Because I could have, because that's what it is. We discriminate when it comes to mothers, man. We treat them differently. We treat them with, especially if we know like you're pregnant, hold the door open for a pregnant lady. Discriminating, because otherwise, man, you're just like boom, 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 going through your days. But now all of a sudden you're like, I got to treat this special lady a little bit special. So there are downsides to everything. And then we shouldn't just like, I'm just putting it all on the table today. Other areas where mothers could improve. It is kind of sick if you think about it, that they get you hooked on the tits from an early age and then take it away from you, which is basically like giving people crack and then taking it away. And being in the, that's just, if you can, follow that logic, it's pretty weird. But also, I'm just saying. And then what do you have later on in life? People, trying to, yeah, that's what it is. What I'm saying is that, if you're not gonna commit to if you're gonna be like only for a couple of years and then be like, then I don't want it from the beginning. And let's just make it, but that's just me. I'm just, So how do you guys and gals feel about that? Is it cool that mothers are essentially like, yes, tits till you're like, 6 months to 8 months. I don't know how long mothers breastfeed, but that's what it is. 2 years, 3, I don't know, 2, 3, a year and a half, 2 years, 2 years. Once you start, I don't know what the deal is, but after a certain point, a man or a woman starts growing and people get weirded out if you're like on your mom's teats. It was okay way back. What's changed? You know what I mean? What has changed? You can talk. You can walk. You can fend for yourself. So I guess these are the things. So if by those standards, if you grow but also always remain on your back and kind of like dependent on others, would it be acceptable then? Because we're like, I'm just saying, I'm just looking at area. I'm not saying these are, I'm not saying let's move forward with these ideas. I'm just saying these are ideas that if there is rooms to be improved, don't be, I wanna, and then take it away, which is, right, ladies, gents? Something to think about there. Mothers are essentially, they bring you into life. They are one of the key components of life moving forward. And yeah, man, it's a different time nowadays. It's a different time. Times are evolving. Tech is evolving. We're evolving. But, classic moms be doing classic birthing for hundreds of thousands of years, millions of years, lots of years, dudes, ladies. It's crazy town. And when you think about it, it must have been, it must have been terrifying. It must have been terrifying to be amongst the first females to give the birth. But look at us now. Look at us now. We're doing it together. Not all, like, we're not all doing it together. Like, I understand that there's females individually, like we as a collective, as a species, are doing it together, which is nice. Men are there to be supportive as much as we can through support groups from a distance, giving you your time, your space. Like, we come in, we get you, you need to get pregnant. We're there. Again, the collective we. This guy, not so much. But in spirit, yes. Big time. In spirit, big time, yes. We're there. You need somebody to take a Lamaze classes, we're there. Again, not this guy, but other dudes. But this isn't about dudes, because sometimes, sometimes you have ladies who are, you have single. Shout out to single moms. If you're a single mom out there, my heart and, my thoughts are always, there with, like, single moms who are, because that's what it is. It's a tough job. I wouldn't say it's a gig. It's a full-time job. No messing around here. There are no clocks in it. There's no clocking in, clocking out of mom duty, which is, that's a job you sign up for without even getting your pen out or your feather with a little bit of ink or whatever other means of using to kind of like certify an agreement of sorts, like whatever, it might be a digital document that none of that, no signing of anybody. You sign up for it regardless without signing up, and it comes with a lot of, territories, scary territories. So, because that's what it is, man. I don't think, personally speaking, not just because I don't have the physical attributions, I just, that's a big ask, but that's what it is. I think you get what you can kind of handle and that's what it is. So when I see mothers, when I see people stepping up to that stage saying, yes, I'm gonna bat her up, and just, like, let a human slide out of me, that is strength. That is things that is just, like, beyond I can try to imagine, but I can't, because again, the whole, like, it's just being a male versus a female is two different things. I can only try to imagine, but that's as far as I can try to imagine what it'd be like to be in a position to be like, yes, one day I'm gonna give birth to another human. That is so easy to say for a dude, but like as a lady to actually do that, but again, thank you for everybody who's been doing it, keeps doing it, and that's the thing with motherhood too. Like anything else, the more you do, the better you get at it. The more you give birth, the easier the process. And I know this, because just because I'm not a mother doesn't mean I have not helped millions of people around the earth give birth. I'll doula, dude. I'll get in there and doula. If you need anybody to, like, boil water, I'm there. I've done it. Not for baby purposes, but like I've boiled water for coffee, for tea. If I needed to, a couple of times there were, like, stubborn stains on pieces of furniture or clothing items. I boiled water. I don't know why. I thought at the time it'd be a good idea, but it just, like, dispersed all the spilled whatevers, So, at the end of the day, just remove the couch covers or bed sheets or clothing items, and just do a nice laundry set and, like, use detergent. That should do the trick. But nonetheless, I'm there to, like, I'll boil water. I'll get a couple of hot towels ready. I'll doula the shit out of this. I'm there. If need be, I'll be there. If there's a mother on an airplane and there's like, is there a doctor on this plane? I'll be the first to put my hands up. Hands up. It's plural, dude. I'm here, right here. Why? Because I don't, that's the thing. I don't want if, let's say there is a doctor, but maybe there's only one doctor. I want to let him know that, hey, man, there's two of us on this plane. You don't need to be doing this all by yourself. It's going to be a teamwork. It's going to be a team effort. We're going to deliver this baby together. And he's going to look at me, and I'm going to give him that doctor look. Doctor. Look, right there. That's the assurance wink of a doctor. That's the when the doctor comes in and winks at you, that's when you know you're in good hands. Right there. Doctor. So, but that's just like best case scenario when you got a doctor on a plane. A lot of times it'll be like, oh, lady's giving birth, this mother's about to mother, do we have a doctor on this plane? All the snakes on the plane are like, no doctors, but plenty of snakes. So like, it's not your time right now. It's not every time it's about you. Snakes, sit down. I use a couple of them and I'll just like strap them in their seats together, use them as a buckle. 2 snakes, just fucking like tie them in a boat. Sit tight. Not today, snakes. I'll say that. Doctor, right here. And I'll go to town, man. I will say, clear out the back 3 rows of the airplane, clear out the whole seating area. And that's tell the captain to put on cruise control. I'm gonna need his assistance as well. Tell the pilot to get here. And there's only, maybe there's only one pilot that day. Regardless, put it on autopilot, son. I hope you have enough fuel for us to do a couple of loop-de-loops up in the air, because this baby's about to, and I'm about to be there for this baby and the mother. So that's what I does. I can't do the birthing process, but I am supportive of if I see it, a lady on the sidewalk breaks her water. Oh my God, call 911. You know what? Enough. And I'm right here. I'll be there. Forget 911s. Because that's like, classic, reliable sources of people who do deal with babies and mothers. And yes, there's procedures, there's standards, there's you want to make sure everything's clean. Do you have all the equipment? Do you even know what you're doing? But that's, or do you say, yes, I want to be a risk taker, and instead of, I'm not going to go to the hospital. I'm right here, and there's a dude who's willing to, help with the birthing process. Why not? Why not? Plenty of reasons as to why we shouldn't, but I say, why not? Why not? Just because it's the sidewalk, just because, I'm not qualified, just because you're like, I don't even know this guy, just because, whatever. But that's the thing. How do you think we used to do it way back in the day when there were, 'cause hospitals are relatively new. It's not like hospitals were just available all willy-nilly. So mothers had to be like, yo, I'm walking down the street today. I might just give birth. Hello there, sir. That's why if you see older, renditions of older times, that's why men used to wear larger hats. It was so to be able to be like, okay, what is this? Oh, bodily fluids just spewing out. Is that your water breaking? Let me just test that. You take the water in a bucket hat. Fucking chuck it, empty it out, ready. What is the, those large cylindrical hats for babies? Think about that. Gentlemen used to be ready all the time, but we've allocated that resource to doctors and facilities, and all of a sudden, lose it. We lose it, because that's what it is. You don't use it, you lose it, baby. No more large hats. No more babies just being delivered in large hats. And, I'd love to be able to have a top hat with purpose, not just be like, because that's what it is. If you're going to wear it, it's good to get all the functions out. It's not just be like, oh, it's just for looks. It's just for, aesthetics. It's also got practicality behind it. So I'd like to be able to do that, man. Bring back the top hat, fewer hospitals, more hands-on grassroots coming together, working together, and just, more involvement. Because I don't want to be living somewhere where I'm detached from things, where everything's just like, order a baby online. It's like, get a baby made, custom make your baby on a website. Do you want to switch up the colors with the maybe. You know, that's like, what am I doing here? Creating shoes, designing my own shoes, or a baby? It's almost there. We're almost there. Little by little, we'll get there. But until then, I like to be like, you know, I'm keep me, you know, I'm a little bit. I'll go traditional. I'll go classic. Hats off to the ladies, right there for you. You know. That's crazy, man. You know, sometimes we gotta just find our path back to somewhere in the middle of things, between, you know, designer babies on the lines, babies and hats. Which is better? I think the answer may surprise you. Good, good. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, to all my lovely people out there who are doing it. If you're a mother right now, if you are giving, you know, what advice would I give to aspiring mothers, as someone who is deeply, deeply knowledgeable about motherhood, mothers, what it means to be a mother, what it takes to be a mother, what it gives to be a mother, what it requires. I would say, if you're a young and aspiring mother out there, if it's your first time around, if it's your first baby, I remember my first baby. It's always, you know, it's good that you don't have any experience sometimes, because it's like you go into it and it's like sometimes you don't want to necessarily know what you're doing. Sometimes you want to be like, yes, there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of hearsay, there's a lot of allegedly this, allegedly that, but when it comes down to it, there's nothing that'll prepare you for giving birth like actually giving birth. So I would say, work on your, you know, if you're gonna mother, maybe a couple of years in advance, maybe just start, you know, carrying things that are a little bit heavy in bags. Just attach a bag to yourself, just to be like, how do I even feel about this? How do I feel about this extra weightage, this extra package around my neck, around my belly, on my back? You know, have a couple of, you know, I would say, before even becoming a mother, grab a vacuum and just attach it to your nip and let it suck on your nip for about 20 minutes. See how you feel. Are you okay with the nip soreness? Because that's something you're gonna have to get used to. They don't tell you that in mother school. They don't. I had to learn that all by myself, with no one around. But I'm putting it out there. Free. It could just, you know, that's what it is. So if you're a lady, you're like, how does it feel to have sore nipples? I've always heard of sore nipples, but I don't know what it means to have sore nipples. Vacuum it, 20 minutes, maybe even longer. You're like, what if it sucks me inside the vacuum? Then what if what if the baby eats your tits? What if it's a strong baby? It's just like, cause a little, you know, reg babies like, but what if this baby's fucking like a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, a little bit teethier? You're like, how does baby have a teeth? That's what I'm saying. You never know. There's so many variants to babies. Some might come a little bit fucking like, you know, that one's got a square jaw. Day old, square jaw. Fucking jack baby. Maybe the father was a super athlete, and now you have a super athlete baby, and you're not ready for that. And your nip's just like your nip has only been at best nibbled on for a little bit of pleasure. Nothing schmance, nothing too long. So yeah, get a vacuum, stick it on your areola, turn it on, and if there's like, you know, if there's different speeds, start with obviously the lower speeds, you work your way up to build resistance. Do that for several months. I would suggest that would, you know, you're like, how do I prepare for my water breaking? Honestly, if I were mothers, I'd get a whoopee cushion or any plastic bag, really. Just fill it up with any liquid of your choice, water. If you want more of a realistic technique, I would say water, urine, female ejaculate. Or these are all like, close, as close, you want it to be as close to the actual experience. Just, carry a whoopee cushion or, plastic bag, stuff it under a loose shirt, and walk in a department store and practice, and just have it like have your, just fucking, oh, what is this? And they'll see the loose bag, but also you're leaking. Clean up on aisle 5. What's going on here? Practice. That's what I'm saying. Because a lot of times, 7 out of 9 women have been reporting that they slip on their waters once the water breaks from the water bag, from the water, because they say that your water breaks. Try it out, because you don't want to be like, oh my god, this is my first experience. Because maybe there are mothers out there who've never stepped in a puddle, who've never walked in rain, who have always, have relied on umbrellas, so they don't know what it's like to, and you don't want to be caught off guard. So go ahead and just like, or just, it doesn't have to be anything fancy, and empty out, drink a Gatorade, take it to the bathroom, fill it up as you're walking, just, again, under the shirt, let it all go, and be like, oh, and people will be like, oh my god, this lady's water is breaking. But you can, this is the practice time, so now we can like, it's okay, everybody, I'm okay. And they'll be like, are you? And you'd be like, I got this. Motherhood, I got this. There's a lot of times, yeah, man, people be caught off guard. They're like, my water breaks. Try freezing your water. A lot of times, because everybody knows, liquid, solids, and gases, baby. There's no spilling of anything that's solid. We all know that. Liquid, spillage. Gas, also prone to spillage. Solid, how you gonna break it? Unless you drop it, dude. Unless you drop it, I didn't see that one coming there. I'm gonna say water's tricky. So again, but these are, at least we're talking about it. You don't hear this shit anywhere else. Everybody else is like, yeah, just, you'll find out when you go through it. Break that water ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? That's the real deal, baby. That's the real deal. Because anytime, they say when opportunity meets preparation, that's luck. So you want to be creating your own luck. And nothing creates your own luck like you taking in the time to go and be like, hey, babes, to your man, hey, babes, let's go to the mall today. I'm going to practice breaking my water. Or whatever. Gas station, local gas station, at the pump. Because you don't see too much of that. Which is actually crazy to think about. You barely see any women in public breaking their water. That is nuts. That is crazy. I don't think I've actually seen any ladies break their water. And you're like, what about the times that you doula and helped give birth on airplanes? Except those few, but like, you know what I mean? And what's going on? Is it just something that they talk about but doesn't actually happen? Because when was the last time you saw a lady's water break, dude? So is it just a lot of this? No actual, a lot of this is going on, ladies, with the, oh, my water breaks. Where's all the water, dude? There's apparently there's a water shortage. Apparently, ton of water and a lot of water shortage. And all of a sudden, who's carrying a lot of water? Who's carrying that water weight? These mothers are, that's besides trafficking life, what else you traffic in there, sister? Huh, you know what I mean? You in bed with big water? Yeah? Big water game? You got yourself into a little situation with big soda pops and big water? You trying to control water supply, son? Lady? God damn. Trying to take advantage of a situation that's, so, or not. I don't know what the whole deal is. But all I'm saying is, I've heard of this thing, but I've yet to actually see it in real life. And that to me sounds like alarms. That to me sounds like bells. That to me sounds like whistles. That to me is a red flag. That to me is a That's about it. Things that are alarming. When you're like, oh, I see this thing. This is because I've heard of it, but I've not actually seen it. So what is going on? Are they trying to pull a fast one over us, fellas? Are they, because that's what it is, man. You see a water break, you know it's reals. You see and I've yet to, yeah, again, and if it does break, how do a lot of people are like, how do I clean this up? Honestly, Swiffer Wet Jet, I would say carry a couple of extra tampons or Tampexes or just, menstrual products. Have them in a bag of sorts with you because they're really good at absorbing. And if your water breaks and you have these like extra pads, lay them all down, and they all absorb, and all of a sudden you're having they say you can have a happy period with your menstrual products. That is not a period, but that is, at least you'll be happy you had it. At least you'll be happy you had it. Think about all these things, ladies and gents. These are all, and yeah, what other areas could ladies, potentially up their game in motherhood? In terms of mothers could also be like, because you do gain the body weight and the mass, right? You do gain the body weight. I'm thinking, what about mothers who like, should mothers be allowed to sumo wrestle? Because who else has that kind of vibe except sumo wrestlers? I can only think of sumo wrestlers and the Michelin Man from Michelin Tires. But also, who also fits that other category of like, junkies? Moms. And you're like, what about the baby? If this baby's not game, then, if this baby's all like already coming in without even actually being there, already dictating how we're gonna live our lives. If a mom wants to get fucking chunky and also compete in sumo wrestling, let's go. And that's an area that it could be improved upon because you barely ever see any pregnant women sumo wrestling, which is, it's the first thought that comes into my mind. And I know if I'm thinking it, you guys and gals were thinking it first. So with that being said, let's sanction a couple of fights. Nothing major, nothing like, too, but also it's a shame to see all that mass go to waste. It's like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm only dedicating it to giving birth. Multiple birds as per usual with as little stones as possible. You want to be going in and accomplishing many of things. What did you do? I gave birth, broke my solid water, which I froze at home, and in between, after hours, harassing a couple of them dope boys, just right there. There's a couple of them dope boys getting in there with the ladies. That's what it is. That's what it is, man. You bring the competition, you create a space for it, and they say, adrenaline can help with the birthing process. That's why they say if you're about to give birth, try to fuck right before, or like when you're close to like giving birth, try to put in a couple of sets. Apparently, like it helps with the birthing process. I don't know why, but it's the adrenaline, it's the excitement, but it's also like, I would assume sumo wrestling would be the greatest like way to also like build your body strength core and give birth simultaneously, because you got adrenaline pumping, you got a 350, 400, 500 pound guy just like coming at you, and you're like, you're on an angle, belly out, feet behind you, just like pushing and exerting energy. That baby will like slide right out, dude. None of these 24 to 48 hour birth sessions where you gotta be like, oh, we gotta have all the lights on in this room. Oh, I remember, make sure to like wash your hands for the baby. Throw a little rice over your shoulder and let's get down, baby. Let's do this. Sumo wrestling and pregnant ladies, and also birthing, and that could become a whole like, and that's entertainment right there. That is, if you don't want to see that, then there's, I don't even know what we're doing here. But the whole point of it is to celebrate mothers, and also, point out to them where they could improve their games. Mother's cooking is always, it's top five. Mom's cookings are pretty, most moms know how to throw it down. Uh, and that's always, that's something that's comforting. So we're not gonna, that's amazeballs right there. We're not gonna like, that's an area where most moms have got it down. And for those of you who don't, you can get it down. It's just a little bit of time, practice, a little bit of effort, and boom, before you know it, quick 5-10 minute recipe goes a long way. But those are things that mothers are, we're not gonna touch that, dude. Mother's cooking, we're not gonna touch that. What else could they, what else could they do in terms of being able to apply their bodies once they're in like mom form? Honestly, if it snows outside and you're like, man, I'm too lazy to build a snowman or a snow woman, because it's like you got to get a big base and build it all. It's like too much work. Again, the mom body is one of those bodies that if you just like put it outside for a few minutes and it's packing snow and it's just snowing on a mom, she gets maybe 1 inch, 2 inches of snow on her. If she holds still, it'll look like a legit snowman or a snow woman. So instead of you having to be like, oh, I gotta pack a snowball, and then I gotta drop it on the ground, and hopefully this packing snow is enough so that when I roll it around, there's a big giant ball in the base, and then I could roll another medium-sized ball and put it on top of the large ball that I put for the base, and then find a third, ball and roll that and put it on. It's just too much work. But you got a lady that's pregnant. Do you mind standing outside for 20 minutes? Just for a few pics, just so we can have the, just so the kids can come out and be like, snowman, snow lady, and have their hearts warm up by the sight of it. And it's much easier to like clean up after as well. You're not left with grotesque images of people walking on by, with carrots and cucumbers and sticking it in the snowmen in all sorts of regions and having all sorts of sick laughs after utilizing a carrot and a cucumber to make, or what is this? What is this? You know what it is, fella. You know what it is, lady. That's a snowman. You leave the snowman or lady alone. And you can easily clean that up with a mother who's just willing to get under it and just be there for the picture in the moment, but also walk away so that there's no more, So again, multiple birds, fewer stones. Barely any stones involved. The making of this snowman or woman was not utilizing any stones. And that's what's up, ladies and gentlemen. So it's Mother's Day. So go ahead and, buy your mom some, a shaving kit, a nice, a day at the spa, get her all cleaned up. Do the same for dads. Like I said earlier, just, give them a lot of aphrodisiacs, because they say aphrodisiacs are there to make people horny and get them in the mood. But how do the aphrodisiacs get in the mood? How does that work? What do they consume that gets them in the mood? But nonetheless, we're not there to solve all the mysteries that are in the world, but nonetheless, man, so go ahead and dose up your dad, dose up your mom. Make sure that there is plenty of time, space, and just play a little bit of music in the background and just leave the house, and that's it, baby. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, it is Friday. We dedicated a whole day to mothers because they are special, truly special individuals who do wonderful things for us. Each and every one of us comes from them, and that is amazing. I can't, words can't describe it. I love my moms. I know you all loves your moms out there too. So, and again, if it's not for these ladies who are like, we're gonna do the most gangster of all gangster moves, none of us would be here. So that's shout out to the ladies again with the fallopian tubes and the ovaries and all the equipment, all the essentials, all the organic, natural, beautiful, the beautiful hearts with the beautiful souls out there. It gets me all emotional when I start thinking about it. and we all got them, man. Most of us have them anyway. Like, you know, and if you don't have them, you know, it's you did come from one. Maybe yours got old. Maybe yours got way too old, dude. Maybe you got a really old one, and that's a good thing, because that means you had one for some time. So, or maybe for whatever reason, you know, you got here with one, but now they have, you know, they're no longer, you know, for whatever reasons, but nonetheless, you have been given the gift of life, which is given by mothers, mostly by mothers. You know, we're not going to go into what dads do to contribute to this little equation right there, but it's a little bit of teamwork effort. We're not going to get into the percentage about like who is contributing more. There's, you know, there's obvious answers, and then there's like, okay. So what I'm saying is thanks to all the mothers that we're all here doing it together. Keep doing motherhood the way you've been doing it. Keep it G. I'll be back here again on Monday. Where can you find these videos? Once again, if you just joined us today, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, check it out on Instagram. Follow me on YouTube. Subscribe so you get the full-length videos. It helps your boy, helps you out. We talk about different things. We shoots the shit. We have the funs. We have the laughs. We talk. And yeah, man, it's Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day. If you hear anybody just muttering anything under their breath, congratulate them. It's Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day. It's also and it's confusing. You're like, it's Mother's Day. You were ready to like celebrate Eminem all day, every day. You're like, it's Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day. Every day I hear it's Mother's Day or Mother's Day again. Like it's just like, you know, it's all about campaigning. It's all about the proper PR about the whole movement, but I think together we can sort it out. It's a little bit, yeah, it does get a little bit confusing. You're like, Mother's Day, and you're all excited about talking about Eminem, and nobody else is into it because it's apparently Mother's Day. So we're gonna have to talk about another day. That's just what it is. But also, it's just to clarify that there might be a little bit of a confusion. It is not Mother's Day either. It is not Mother's Day. It's not a day about where people are like, man, we're just gonna say things under our breath. We're just gonna mutter. We're gonna celebrate muttering. Just like, you know what happened there? It just said something under your breath, muttering. So happy Mother's Day, baby. Love you. I'll be back here again on Monday. Peace out.